everybody. Yes, I know this is a very odd sight to see a puppet show where the puppets are off camera, but we are here today for something that doesn't really require us, at least seeing us. We are here for a comic book reading from classic puppet theater. And yes, believe it or not, despite me missing Zach here, we are reading Spider-Man, and we are more than ready. But before we get into this fantastic issue in which Spider-Man meets the Sinister Six, let's meet our cast. To my side, you can see him. He's furry, little, and amphibious. It is Froggy.
I'm no longer in the dark. I'm now a poster child.
You're an icon.
Exactly.
He is an icon. And the only one of us here willing to show their face, Maranya.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you see this.
Moving on from every woman in the world, we have, well, what a man, Mr. Breen.
You didn't tell me anybody was going to see this.
You're a mean one, Mr. Breen.
Oh, well, we can't go
on this
into the
night,
parody.
his paycheck grew 3 times larger.
He gets paid?
I get paid in respect, and I get no respect.
That's what we pay him in respect for 5 minutes.
That's to tell a story.
That's very rare for us to give, honestly. But let's go ahead and show this book. This is the big annual, The Amazing Spider-Man, where he meets the Sinister Six. Of course, Maranya will be our narrator, and there are plenty of characters. As we are missing a Zach, I will be taking the role of Spider-Man. The hardest part of this is going to be yelling at myself. But
if you want, I can yell at you.
Well, you're going to yell at me anyway.
Okay.
Wow, this is 15 cents for an annual? Amazing.
25.
25.
Oh, 25. It looks like a 1.
Oh no, big old 2.
Okay, 25 cents even. That's pretty amazing for an annual. These days, if you're lucky, it's like $6, $8, $10.
The Amazing Spider-Man featuring Spidey's biggest, longest, greatest battle as he attacks the Sinister Six. With a galaxy of the most gold-adorned guest stars that you can shake a web at. And I think we'll go ahead.
Yep. Okay, please do that. Spider-Man, the Sinister Six. Can Spider-Man save the 2 people he loves most in the whole world from the deadly Sinister Six? In order to rescue Betty, Brent, and Aunt May, Spidey must find a way to defeat the undefeatable Sinister Six. There should be more. What happens now? Just when he needs them most, Peter Parker seems to have mysteriously lost his amazing spider powers. 41 pages of indescribable excitement. I'll let you read this part.
I'm actually going to let Breen read this part.
Okay, let him read that part.
41 pages of indescribable excitement. Written by Stan Lee. Drawn by Steve Ditko. Possibly the most talked about team in comics today. It's taken a year to produce this double-length epic, so let's not waste another minute. Away we go.
Honorable mention, Sam Rosen.
Yeah, he's always there for the lettering.
Sorry, Sam.
In state prison, a team of specialists have finally found a way to remove the 4 extra mechanical arms which had become attached to Dr. Octopus after a freak accident. See Spider-Man number 3, editor.
Now they'll be taking your greatest power from you. You're just a plain Dr. Otto Octavius prisoner. Hashtag 4567389. Oh.
I don't think you would call me a hashtag, but number. That's what he thinks. He doesn't suspect that I can control my arms mentally, though they're a distance away from me.
Ooh. An hour later, after Dr. Octopus has been returned to his cell,
And after we finish this book, if my artificial arms are sent to another prison, they will be too far for my thought control. That means I must get them back now and plan my escape right away while I still have the power.
and so the evil archvillain sends a thought impulse out from his brain, a summons which is received and obeyed by his mighty mechanical arms.
Return to your master! Return to your master!
So powerful are they that nothing seems able to stop them as they slowly make their way along the walls and ceiling until...
I knew it! I had the power to do it! And now to attach them to myself again and break out of here before the guards can muster enough reinforcements to stop me!
The next day, J. Jonah Jameson, publisher of the influential Daily Bugle, gets an unexpected visitor.
Hi, JJ! I was just passing by, so I thought I'd drop in and borrow a paper. I love to read your editorials. They're funnier than the comic strips. Pardon me, 1 second. Spider-Man! You insolent buffoon! Haven't the police caught you yet? If only that blasted Peter Parker was here to snap photos of him for my private collection. Well, so Doc Ock has escaped from prison again. I sure hope he goes into hiding for the next 100 years or so. I'd hate to have to tackle him again.
Suddenly,
Hey, what's going on here? A hurricane?
as Thor.
Oh, it's only Thor hurtling by. Boy, that guy really cooks up a storm. When he gets going, he didn't even see me. He's either on his way to meet the Avengers, or he's late for his barber.
Mighty Thor appears each month in his own magazine, as well as in the Avengers. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a very strange, ominous meeting is about to begin.
Let's get started, Octopus. Electro is not used to being kept waiting.
Be patient, you third-person talking fool. We can't begin till everyone is here. It won't be long. Ah, here comes Mysterio now. We need wait for only 2 more.
Look, if none of us is able to defeat Spider-Man before, what makes you think we can do it now? Use your head, Electro. Each of us almost beat him. All alone. Working together, how can we fail?
Craven the Hunter is right. Besides, I've got a foolproof plan all worked out while I take my cigarette break.
Anybody got a light?
Got a light.
But let us leave the gathering of supervillains for a moment. The next day, on a street in Forest Hills, Peter Parker's spider sense detects something frightening about a passing stranger.
I feel a strong, alarming tingle. It's caused by that man who passed by. I better investigate. It could mean...
Parker, I've been looking for you. You're not going to get away from me this time.
Oh no! Of all times for Flash to come looking for trouble.
I saw you waltzing home from school with Liz yesterday. I'm through warning you to keep away from my girl. Now, puny Parker, it's time you learned a lesson you'll understand.
You tell him, Flash.
Get him heavy, Flash.
Look, Bird Brain, the only lesson a meathead like you could teach is a lesson in stupidity. Now get lost.
Okay, wise guy, you asked for it.
Have you lads nothing better to do than engage in common street brawls? Fighting is the last resort of the ignorant.
And somewhere, Dalton has cried. Now there's an imperishable bit of dialogue.
Look out, mister. I can't stop my punch in time. Yay! I went right through him.
Do not be alarmed. This is only an ectoplasmic spirit form you see before you. My physical self is safely at home in my study.
Flash understands none of this.
Wow, I never thought I'd see him for real. Do you know who that was?
I think so. But I always thought he was just some phony magazine hero.
There's nothing phony about that character. It's Doctor Strange in flesh. Or I guess we should say not in the flesh.
Doctor Strange appears each month in Strange Tales. Wow, cross-promotion. Meanwhile, Peter Parker has taken advantage of the sudden interruption to make one of the most dramatic changes in all of Adventuredom.
Nobody saw me duck around the corner. I better change to Spider-Man real fast and find out what there is about that fella that made my spider sense tingle so violently. The aura of villainy which he exudes is almost too strong to bear. Whoever he is, he represents a great danger. A grave danger. I'd better tackle him now. Hold it, mister. I want to talk to you. Huh? There's nothing there. I'm falling. Just an empty suit of clothes. But how?
But if Spidey had been able to peer beneath the tiny cracks in the grating below the empty garments, he'd have seen one of the strangest criminals of all time, reforming his body particles in a normal shape once more.
That was close. But the Sandman can't stop to fight Spider-Man now. I'm late for the urgent meeting which Dr. Octopus called.
Moments later,
my spider sense indicates that the one I'm after is down here somewhere. But he has too much of a head start. Too many tunnels. I wonder who he could have been. I better get home now. It's almost dinner time, and I don't want to worry Aunt May. Say, that's strange. There's a light on in the attic. Why would she be up there? She opened Uncle Ben's trunk, looking at his old letters and photos. Gosh, I hate to see her weep that way. I guess she never really got over Uncle Ben's death at the hands of that burglar months ago.
turning from the window with a heavy heart, Spider-Man walks aimlessly along the rooftops, lost in his own gloomy thoughts.
I can never forget that I'm partially to blame for Uncle Ben's death. And the fact that I'm the only one who knows it doesn't make it any easier to live with.
See Marvel Annual #1, editor.
Holy cross promotion, Batman.
Yeah.
He was always so good to me. Such a real pal. We went everywhere. He loved me like his own son. He wanted me to be someone. Oh gosh, do I have to go on?
Yes, you have to do it.
I still remember that terrible day. I hadn't been Spider-Man for very long, and I didn't want to waste my powers. I remember how I stood calmly by when I might have helped to catch an escaping criminal.
Stop him! If he makes it to the elevator, he'll get away!
I missed the part where that's my problem. If only I had known. If only I could somehow have guessed that the very man who I allowed to pass me would be the burglar who was late to later murder my Uncle Ben. Why hadn't I stopped him? Why? And now, no matter what I do, no matter how great my spider powers are, I can never undo that tragic mistake. I can never completely forgive myself. Sometimes I hate my Spider-Man powers. Sometimes I wish I were just like any normal teenager. If only it had never happened.
But then, suddenly, surprisingly, the sure-footed adventurer loses his balance and...
What? I tripped! It's impossible. It's never happened before. I can't trip. I can't. Perhaps I was just too careless, I say to the random people in the streets, so wrapped in thought that I forgot I was at the roof's edge.
But then he receives another shock.
Oh no, I can hardly hold on to the flagpole. What happened to my strength, to my agility? I never believed I never believed it could happen. But it has, somehow, without warning. I've lost my spider powers. Perhaps it's all for the best. Now I can never hurt anyone again. I won't have a secret I must always protect. I'll be able to live a normal life. But I can't hold on to this pole forever. How will I get down from here? There's the Fantastic Four and the Fantasticar. What a name. They see me, but they're flying right past me.
Look, Reed, there's that swell-headed Spiderman showing up for the public as usual.
We'd better not interfere. He's a real lone wolf.
This town's crawling with superheroes. Pretty soon you'll need a program to tell one from the other.
Don't worry, Ben. People will always be able to recognize you. The Fantastic Four appear each month in their own feature-length magazine. More cross-promotion.
They must have thought I was clowning out here, as usual. Well, I've got to try to make it to the ledge. Mustn't let go. One slip will be curtains. Just a little further. Almost there. Made it! Now to find an open window. Mustn't look down. I'll hug the wall and keep inching forward.
Finally, after a suspenseful few minutes, the costumed teenager reaches an open window and then...
I've got to get home as fast as I can. I must always talk to myself, but I mustn't be seen. Without my spider powers, it would be too easy for someone to trap me and succeed in unmasking me.
Woof, woof, woof. And so it takes the once mighty Spider-Man almost an hour to make a journey which, just a short time earlier, you have completed in less than 3 minutes by effortless rooftop travel. Then, after changing clothes... You look pale, dear. Is anything wrong?
No, Aunt May. I guess I've just been studying too hard.
Why don't you lie down for a while, Peter? I'll bring your dinner up to you.
Thanks, Aunt May. I will. After today, I'll never have to keep the truth from her again. No more deception as Spider-Man. It all happened so fast, so unexpectedly. I always wished I were a normal teenager again. But now, what next? What do I do with my life?
Meanwhile, at the hideout of Dr. Octopus, the guest list is completed with the arrival of the winged vulture.
I feel like I've been talking for hours. Now that we're all here, we'll get down to business immediately. This meeting will be a turning point of our careers.
Skip the dramatic speeches, Octopus. Just state the plan.
Whatever the plan is, Sandman is for it. I can't wait to pay Spider-Man back.
We'll have a score to settle with the least of Spider-Man.
He defeated me twice. I don't know if I'm going to be around long enough for a third. But this will be different. The third victory will be mine.
We can't beat him with words. Let's band together and attack him now!
He's too fast. He'd find some way to escape us.
Perhaps you're right. But there must be a way to force him to battle us. Of course there is. That's the purpose of this meeting. Now, be quiet, all of you. I have it all figured out.
I say we must attack all at once. His power is not great enough to defeat all 6 of us. Bah, I'm wise to his tricks by now. I can lick him alone next time we meet.
Raven does not understand why you brought the senior citizen here.
Hey!
Raven does not hunt in a pack. Only by the solo victory will I achieve the revenge I seek. And maybe get better Taylor.
But he's beaten all of you in the past. Why take needless chances? I don't care how we do it. I'm just itching to tackle him.
Now that you've all had your say, I'll tell you my plan. I believe it will satisfy each of you. We will each draw a number, and we will fight him one at a time in the order of the drawing. I've worked out a detailed scheme which will force him to battle us. Now, draw.
Good. Action at last.
Tilkerke cannot handle it.
On each of your cards, I have written a location. It is the place where you will battle our common enemy. And each location is best suited for your particular talents. I have left nothing to chance, as you shall see. Spiderman will have no choice. He will have to fight one after another, and each one of us will weaken him a little bit more. So his chances will grow slimmer after each battle. If I'm first, there will be no further battles.
Enough talk. Let's look at the cards.
The next day, an unsuspecting Peter Parker listlessly toys with his breakfast. Peter, you've hardly touched your eggs. Something must be troubling you.
Sorry, Aunt May. I'm talking to myself a lot, and I'm just not hungry. That's all. There's nothing for you to worry about, honest. I've caused you enough worry in the past. I couldn't bear to cause you any more.
Perhaps you should stay home today, dear. It may be a touch of virus.
No, I feel fine. Really, no corona. I think I just need some exercise. I'll go for a walk.
While Governor Cuomo puts you in a nursing home.
The poor boy, he can't fool me. Something is bothering him. If only I could help him. But boys are so reluctant to confide in older people. If only they'd realize we understand more than they think. It can't have anything to do with school. He's the top student in his class. Perhaps that girl he's been seeing, Betty Brandt. I wonder if anything is wrong between them. Meantime, at Midtown High School, I wonder where Peter Parker is today.
Say, that's right. He's not here in class.
Must be something important. This is the first day he's missed.
If you ask me, it's because I scared the panty waist yesterday. He's probably out transferring to another school by now.
Flash Thompson, I don't believe you. You couldn't.
Sure I could, Dollface. I knew you really didn't want puny Parker bothering you, but you were too soft-hearted to tell him so.
Oh, of all the brainless, brash, conceited boys I've ever met. And back at Peter's house. Why, no, Mrs. Parker. Peter didn't come to school today. He thought he was home with you. Oh, dear. I just know something's wrong. He's never played hooky before. It must have something to do with that Betty Brandt.
Poor Betty getting the blame.
But so confused is Peter Parker, so heavy is the fitted depression that hangs over him, that he has completely forgotten about everything, save his own mystifying problem.
I've got to get used to a normal, everyday life again. I'll give up my assignment as part-time photographer for Mr. Jameson. Can't take the kind of crime pictures he wants without my Spider-Man powers. Maybe I can even find the courage to tell Betty the truth about myself. After all, what harm can it do now?
Hey, look! Can you see what I see?
Wow. Never expected to see them in real life.
Hurry, let's get a better look at him.
Oh, looks like it's another cross promotion.
It's Giant Man and the Wasp. They've trapped a gang of criminals.
All right, boys. The party's over. Better phone for the police, Wasp.
Okay, Blue Eyes, but this time let's use your dime. You always forget to pay me back for those phone calls, even though I'm wealthy and I can buy clothes all the time.
Not sure how she can hold the phone, but
Yeah. But as the crowd gathers around the towering crime fighter,
A few days ago, I'd have been right in the center of things, but now I don't want to be even near any criminals.
whoa.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
I have to do the cross promotions. Giant Man and the Wasp appear monthly in Tales to Astonish. More cross promotion.
Back in 1963.
Yep. At that moment, waiting at the entrance of the Daily Bugle building, we find Miss Brandt. Betty, may I speak with you for a moment? Why, Mrs. Parker? Of course you may. I was just going for a cup of coffee. While two sinister figures watch nearby.
there's that Brandt girl now. But who's that with her?
What's the difference? We'll take them both. If we have to. Let's go.
I ain't taking
Wow.
no one.
And at the window of Jonah Jameson's private office,
I forgot to ask Betty Brandt for the Frisbee file. Maybe I can call her from here. Say, what's going on there? She's with Peter Parker's aunt. But whose car is she getting into? I'd swear that's the Sandman and Electro inside. Wait! Come back! Stop! No use. They've gone. But where?
minutes later,
They're here, all right, Vulture. Get going. You know what to do. Ah, Miss Brandt, come in. I've been expecting you. And who is this charming lady with you?
She says she's the aunt of some kid named Peter Parker, Doc.
it's Dr. Octopus. Why did you have us brought here? A doctor, how nice. Such a charming, soft-spoken gentleman. Oh, boy. You mean you haven't heard of him? Don't let his looks deceive you, Mrs. Parker. Now, dear, we mustn't be prejudiced against the poor man just because seems to have some trouble with his arms.
Sit down, please. Make yourselves comfortable. I'll have my associates bring you some refreshments.
Later, after a worried Peter Parker returns home and finds his aunt gone,
I got your call, Mr. Jameson. You say you think you saw my aunt get into a car with Betty Brandt and Sandman and Electro? It just doesn't sound possible. Okay, big brain. So it's impossible. So you tell me where your aunt, my secretary, disappeared to.
suddenly a wicked-looking winged form appears outside the window.
I have a message for Spiderman. The Sinister Six have captured Betty Brandt. Wheeze. If he wants her, he'll have to come and get her.
The Sinister Six? Well, how the dickens am I supposed to tell Spider-Man?
Put a notice in your paper. He's sure to read it. Tell him he must go to the Stark Electric Plant. Building #4.
All right, I think you mean number, but I'll do it. But take good care of Miss Brandt. Good secretaries are hard to find nowadays.
Sliding time scale, you old goat.
Everything's falling in place. 6 of my old enemies have banded together to trap me. They know I was willing to fight for Betty Brandt twice before.
Spider-Man number 11 and number 12, not hashtag. Editor.
But what can I do now? What good am I without my spider powers? How can I save her this time?
Remember, see that Spider-Man gets our message, or we'll hold you accountable.
I'll put it in my paper, like you ask. But I can't swear that he knows. I can't even swear that he knows how to read.
Neither can you.
My next edition won't be out for hours. Maybe I can notify Spider-Man faster by contacting some of the other costume clowns in this town. They probably all belong to the same club. Operator, give me the Fantastic Four! How should I know? Look in the phone book. But if the Sinister Six are holding Aunt May also, what will the shock do to her? She's just a frail old woman. I've got to do something, but what?
Then, across town, in the world's most famous skyscraper headquarters,
Spider-Man? No, we haven't seen him since yesterday, when he was sitting on a flagpole over at Madison Avenue, to be specific. How do I know what I was doing on a flagpole?
If someone's looking for Spider-Man, try the Avengers. Those cornballs are always keeping tabs on everybody.
What's with old flat webhead lately? All of a sudden he'd become Mr. Popular.
next, an electronic circuit is activated at Avengers headquarters and...
So you've lost a Spider-Man. Sorry, I've never even met Spider-Man. None of my teammates are here at the moment either. But say, you look familiar.
It's Reed.
Reed, that's Reed there.
Oh, I guess I read him.
You read him too?
I don't know what this is all about, but it must be important, Cap.
Captain America appears each month in the Avengers. More promotion. Shortly thereafter, oh jeez, in the mysterious danger room of the uncanny X-Men.
Look!
Go ahead.
Look, a flaming message in the sky from the Human Torch. It's for Spider-Man.
Let me do this one.
Go ahead.
Ignore it. It does not concern us. Continue with your training program.
General Mortis moved over to Marvel Comics.
Professor Mortis.
Professor Mortis.
Even more cross-promotion.
Yes, even more, yes. The X-Men appear bi-monthly in their own feature-length magazine.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Meanwhile, as others seek him all over town, the real Spider-Man in the person of Peter Parker does some bitter soul-searching at home.
Having lost my spider powers, I wouldn't stand a chance against any of my old foes, let alone all 6 of them. But I can't sit back. Can't do nothing. Not with Betty and Aunt May in the hands of my most dangerous enemies. I've got to show myself for their sake. And if this is to be my finish, at least I'll face it like a man.
His hair has improved already.
A Spider-Man.
Yeah. Later, at building number 4 of the Stark Electric plant, a costume figure slowly, nervously mounts a catwalk.
Before losing my powers, I could have reached this spot with one effortless leap. But now, what's in store for me?
Another guest star, maybe?
Welcome, Spider-Man. So we meet again.
Electro!
This card I'm holding tells you where to go. Do not collect $200. as the next step of your trial to rescue Betty Brant, but you'll have to defeat me to get it. As you can see, I selected a battle site perfectly suited for my electric powers. Doc Ock had nothing to do with this. I was that smart. So the joust begin.
He's hurling an electric bolt at me. No, don't! Stop!
Don't stop. A split second later, a startling realization dawns upon the amazing teenager.
I'm still alive! Yeah, I love it when I do that. I dodged his bolt. But nobody without superpowers can do that. That can only mean one thing. My powers have returned to me. While that was short, I haven't lost them. I'm still Spider-Man.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you're very lucky.
Don't go away, Electro. I'll be right with you. You're fast, mister, but not fast enough for Spider-Man.
I don't need as much speed as you. I have more sheer power. See what one of any of my bolts can do. And in this a place like this, I can recharge myself, increasing my power with each passing second.
Boy, he's not kidding. It's like fighting a giant living dynamo. But I should worry. Since I've got my Spider-Man powers back, nothing can scare me.
So we shouldn't worry.
Stan, but at least I know that I've got a fighting chance. And that's all I've ever asked of life. I've got to hide from him for a sec while I try something. There! That does it. By grounding myself properly, even if he connects with one of his electric bolts, the force should go harmlessly through me. Now, by catching that main power switch with my web, one tug should shut off all the current in this plant. Thereby... What?
I was just going to say, who has giant freaking switch like that?
Well, you see, I guess Tony Stark, thereby weakening Electro.
I see you up there, Spider-Man. Now you're really trapped yourself.
That's what they all say before I lower the boom.
But this time it's true. I've been saving my strongest bolt for you. And here it is.
Good thing I grounded myself. I'll be able to take the full effect of it thanks to the addition of my spider strength. And now, you high voltage heel, I'll give you something to talk about when you wake up back in your cell. You could tell all the other cons how it feels to be on the receiving end of a knockout punch by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wop. Pleasant dreams, sweetie. Just wait here for the police like a good kid while I relieve you of this little card. Uh-oh, I'd better get going now. I hear someone coming, but who can it be? It's a funny sound, like an iron clanging along.
Drives his car.
Iron Man? I should have guessed. We've had everybody else in this book.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're Mr. Stark's bodyguard, aren't you?
That's right, Spider-Man. What was all the ruckus I heard? What's going on here?
Tony Stark's ironclad alter ego appears monthly in Iron Man. Another shameless promo.
No time to explain, pal. But you'll find a reluctant guest waiting for you atop the main dynamo. Take good care of him.
Meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameson grows more worried by the minute.
Any trace of Spider-Man yet? If he isn't found, there's no telling what the Sinister Six will do to me.
Sorry, Mr. Jameson. We haven't located him yet. You'd better call the police.
Tell that nut to hang up. This ain't the Missing Persons Bureau.
Then, after putting down the phone,
I'm expecting a visitor later. Probably another shameless self-promotion. See that I'm not disturbed. And I better not find out you're goofing off while I'm in there. Understand?
Yes, sir, Mr. Jameson.
Go fry your hat, you old skinflint.
that's good. Meanwhile, Spidey heads for his second unknown opponent.
This is the place, just across the bay from the World's Fair. I wonder what I'll find here.
Whee!
That whistle, like a signal. And in front of me, a savage leopard. Another behind me. It can only mean one thing. Craven the Hunter.
So, Spider-Man, we meet again, bro. In this time, the hunter shall get his prey with the aid of my two little pets. Size may vary.
They're circling me, about to attack me at one time from all three directions. Here they come. If I fight one, the others will get me. I've got to stop all three at once. Spider powers, if I ever needed you, I need you now.
With every nerve tingling, every sense honed to a razor-sharp edge, the most amazing human fighting machine the world has ever known goes into action with dazzling speed and surging power.
Missed me, all three of you. That does it, Craven. You had your chance. Now you get your splash page with Spider-Man. There aren't any second tries.
He's holding my pets off with a blasted webbing of his. You will to escape well again.
Running off so soon, Craven? Hope I haven't bored you too much. But now that the fight has gone out of your two little pussycats,
What's he up to now? I've never seen anyone move so fast or fight so savagely. He's like a whirlwind unleashed.
you can't leave yet, Gunga. Gunga Dim. You still have something of mine.
Don't press your luck, Spider-Man. If I ever get my hands on you,
I'll worry about that when the time comes. Like never. But first, I'll take the card which has my next address on it. Hope you're not ticklish, Craven.
Wow.
he's next to my
Yeah.
junk. I hope you don't care, okay? Enjoy, smell. Now bathe for 5 weeks. Wig my bets. While his back is strong, after him, we can still smash him. From
You
behind.
never give up, do you? I'll bet you're still wearing a Vote for Dewey button.
Do we cheat him and how?
See you around, Craven. And by the way, if you've got a few minutes to kill, why don't you see a good barber? Boy, I feel like $1,000,000, even though I just let that violent criminal escape. I realize now that I never lost my spider powers. I just imagined it. It was all psychosomatic, brought on by deep-rooted feeling of guilt due to Uncle Ben's death. What's that? A circle of flame below me.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's nothing for Spider-Man to worry about. One quick and easy flip over, and I miss it by a mile.
Spider-Man, hold it! You jackrabbit, I want to talk to you.
I'm a spider man, not a rabbit man. The Human Torch. I should have known. Beat it, loudmouth. I'm busy.
No, wait. I got something to tell you. Yow! Cut it out.
Can't you take a hint, you flaming freak? I haven't got time to give out autographs today. Now get lost.
Once again, another shameless promotion. The Human Torch appears monthly in Strange Tales.
Boy, sometimes I wish you really turned bad, so I could let you have it with a pulling in punches. Anyway, this little flame blanket ought to hold you still for a minute.
Are you kidding? No human matchstick can put the kibosh on me.
Whew, and they say I'm a mule-headed. Look, all I want to do is tell you something. You're harder to see than the president.
Okay, hothead, talk fast. But if it's a trick, I'll rip open this water tank and turn you into a pile of soggy ashes.
Relax, Bee-Brain. I heard you were looking for trouble. Everyone's looking for you. They say you're up against impossible odds. So I thought you could use some help. I'll admit you're not the person I'd like to be, like the most to be with, stuck on a desert island. But seeing as we're both sort of in the same line of work, I figured maybe I could lend a hand and take the publicity.
Is that it? Well, I'm sorry I blew up the way I did, Torch. But this fight of mine is pretty personal, so I'll handle it alone.
Okay, guy, that's how you want it. Roger rock.
Meanwhile, the man who has engineered the whole complicated plan of revenge against Spider-Man watches the results so far with keen interest and mounting disappointment.
So Spider-Man got past his second obstacle also. Well, we'll have to be even more careful from now on. Sorry I've been such a poor host, neglecting you charming ladies this way. But I've had some very urgent matters to attend to. And now I hope you'll like this Danish pastry with your coffee.
Such a charming gentleman. It's a pleasure to meet someone with such good manners nowadays. At that very moment, in another part of town, Spider-Man receives a rude shock.
Wait, they already got their cross-promotion.
They're getting another one.
This is the third address I'm supposed to... Wait, the X-Men? How can this be? Hold it, you guys. Wait, it's a mistake. I've come to the wrong address. Look out! I don't get it. Cyclops is blasting my web without giving me a chance to explain.
And then the second startling shock.
Holy smoke! They're not the real X-Men at all. They're just a bunch of highly developed robots.
Oops.
You're like current Marvel.
But whoever created them made them almost as dangerous as the originals. Imitation or not, Cyclops' power beam, is still lethal enough to keep me hopping. That does it. He can't do any more damage with his eyes if my webbing holds him off balance that way.
And then the amazing teenager Spider-Sense tells them that one of the metal walls isn't metal at all.
Wow. Fake X-Men illusions. I wonder who this could be. Whoever my real enemy is, he's behind this camouflaged wall. I better attack him before he can try something else. Mysterio! Of course! Because I still have to talk to myself. Only you have the technical know-how to design such deadly, deceptive mechanical devices. They would have stopped anyone else. Your luck is unbelievable. Luck, you call it, mister. You don't know the half of it. I'm the original hard luck kid, but that won't stop me from playing a drum solo on that glass fishbowl of yours unless you give me the card with my fourth destination on it.
Another splash page.
There, I seize this card and now, oh, that's what I get for being overconfident. Surely you don't think Mysterio could be defeated so easily.
Stop calling me Shirley.
He's unleashed a smoke screen of his special chemical mist. It's one of his greatest defensive weapons. Nice try, Mysterio, but did you forget that my spidey sense enables me to find any enemy within reach, even if I can't see him? And in case you think I'm exaggerating, here's a little convincer for you. Now to see where that card dropped into. Oh no, not there. It fell into a smoldering section of the floor ignited by the Cyclops' robot power beam. If I touch it, it may wither into ashes.
Uh-oh.
Hot
Only
comics.
Oh no. Only one chance. I'll let my liquid webbing cover it, putting out the flames. Now, when I peel away the paper, the imprint of the writing may somehow have been transferred onto my webbing, like with gum and comic strips.
And Silly Putty.
I've got to concentrate harder than ever before. It's up to my spidey sense to detect the message? Seems a little off.
They're really stretching.
That was written here. Before every last trace of it fades away.
Meanwhile, back at the office of J. Jonah Jameson.
What did Sam Hill happen to Spider-Man? Did he get my message? How can I know if, hey, there's a spider outside my window, maybe I can talk to it and I'll go to Spider-Man? If Ant-Man can talk to ants, then why shouldn't Spider-Man? I wonder. Who are you? Did Spider-Man send you? Don't just hang there. Give me the message.
And outside the door of JJ's private office.
Is old Skinflint talking to that spider, or am I going nuts?
If he is, it's not you who's going nuts.
Come on, I haven't gone all day. Where's Spider-Man?
But now our scene changes once again as Spider-Man, having analyzed the message on his last card, reaches his next destination.
It's nothing more than a walled-in court. I wonder what ex-enemy is still waiting to attack me here. That's strange. There's a note telling me where to go next, and no one to stop me from reading it. Well, whoever he was, maybe he got cold feet.
But then, suddenly, a shape takes form right before the startled youth's eyes.
Eric Breen! I should have guessed it would be you.
I've waited a long time for this moment, and now at last it's here. So, if you want that card, come and get it. All you have to do is get past me.
Know something, Buttercup? I plan on just doing that little thing. You're helping me to beat you because you're such a show-off, Sandman. I'm saying as I get, my fourth splash page?
At least.
If you had remained in your sandy form, I wouldn't have been able to wallop you with all my spider strength. Like this. But no, you had to take form in front of my eyes to make a dramatic appearance. Just like the rest of the shameless plugs in this comic. Okay, so you impressed me. Whap.
Yeah, nice splash pages, though.
And now I'll just Uh-oh. When I touched the note, it caused those iron panels to raise. They formed an escape-proof iron cell. I'm trapped inside with Sandman!
Ha! Still feel like gloating over your victory, Spider-Man? I purposely allowed you to get that note to let you think you'd won.
Whew. I had forgotten how he can reshape his sand molecules into any form.
And now, no matter how you try to dodge my blows, it's only a matter of time before I connect with you. And you can't keep ducking forever.
I could try.
But then, surprisingly, the Sandman begins to slump forward, weakening, as though on the verge of collapse.
What's happening to me? I can't breathe. Need air.
Another trick?
Air.
Another
Don't
trick?
step on my line, kid.
I'm saying this in my mind! Another trick! No, he means it. I realize what happened. He made his trap too perfect. To be sure I couldn't escape, he made it airtight. And his mistake was he needs a normal amount of air to breathe, but my spider strength allows me to hold my breath longer. Now it's easy for me to pry the door lock open and get on to my next objective.
And by this time, J.J. Jameson has realized that spiders can't or won't talk, and so...
I hope nobody noticed me shouting at that blaming spider. Say! What are all my competitors' newspapers doing here?
It's the only way we could learn what's happening with Spider-Man. They've all been printing extras except us, you dumbass.
You blithering numbskull, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't we print an extra too?
The spider didn't tell you to. You said you didn't want to be disturbed, and we can't go to the press without your okay.
Oh no! Everyone in town has scooped me on my own story!
While back at the headquarters with thoughtful Dr. Octopus.
I hope to never yell again. I never thought Spider-Man would do so well. Only the Vulture remains to oppose him. I'd better make some new plans in case he reaches here.
He most definitely will.
I'm so sorry that you've become involved in all this, Mrs. Parker. Oh, that's all right, dear. I just hope that Peter isn't too worried about me. The dear boy is so nervous and high-strung. And at that moment, Aunt May's nervous, high-strung nephew is meeting his former flying foe face-to-face again.
Another one? The Vulture?
I'm the last on your list, Spider-Man. Whose idea was this? I have to get back to the home. There's a new CSI and a new flavor of pudding. Because I am the most dangerous of all. Only I can tell you where to find Betty Brant. If only I could remember. But if you want the chance to fight me, you must do it my way.
Oh, Lord.
Each time we fought in the past, you defeated me with your accursed web. But if you want another chance, you must remove your webbing device, or else I'll simply fly off.
Okay, General Mortis. Looks like you leave me no choice. I don't know
That's
how
the other bald guy.
I don't know how I can defeat a flying man without my webbing. But this is as good a time as any to dream up a way.
Good. And now I'll show you what the Vulture can do against a spider without his web. First, I squirt some specially prepared oil at the ledge on which you're standing.
Is this dirt lube?
Please, Walter, you don't have to pee all over the place. Let's get you home.
I'm holding incontinent.
We can change your diaper.
Please. And then, by beating my wings violently, I can cause enough air pressure to force you back right off the slippery surface.
He's right. The oil made it so slick I'm slipping off. But even without my web, I still have the power of sticking to any dry surface, like a spider. Hey, he lassoed my leg. Well, he's sure gonna regret that bonehead play before he gets much older. Don't know how he can.
You didn't think I'd let you remain stuck to the side of that building, did you?
I've got to hurl myself as close to him as possible before he can pry me loose. Now, while he least expects it. Here goes. I'll hold the rope with one hand and free my leg with the other. At times like this, my old spider speed sure comes in handy. The vulture still isn't sure what I'm up to. Now to lasso his leg before he lets the rope go. I did it! Hey, Vulture boy, how about that? If the Spider-Man business ever gets slow, I'll try to get a job acting in TV westerns.
Yeah.
And now, you wing-flapping weasel, you get to be in one of my splash pages. I'm going to clip your pin feathers for you. Unless you tell me where to find Betty Brant. And I mean right now, you hear?
Sure, I'll tell you. I want to get home and watch Ed Sullivan anyway. You'll never be able to leave this place alive anyway. And if you do, we'll meet again. Spider-Man! I'll see to that.
Well, that's okay with me, Flyboy. You know your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is always available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, and all sorts of fun things. Now fly me back to where I left my wedding. Giddy up!
Exactly 60 seconds later.
Now you just stay there all nice and snug while Spidey goes bye-bye. If you get lonely, just wave to the nice people down below.
Expletive deleted.
But the Vulture isn't the only one whose thoughts are unprintable at that moment. Mr. Jameson, our news dealers report we haven't sold a newspaper in the past hour.
Naturally, all the other papers have come out with Spider-Man extras, except us. Get out of here! Let me suffer in peace.
And what of the ominous Dr. Octopus?
I hope you ladies will excuse me for a while. I'm expecting another visitor to arrive shortly.
But what about us?
Don't you worry, Miss Brant. I'll be back.
Mrs. Parker, what do you suppose he meant by that? I don't know, my dear, but doesn't he have the most charming manners? He's so well spoken.
Damn, Slot, paying no attention.
You ditzy old lady. And just a few hundred yards away.
So this is my final destination. Perhaps the talking ends here. An old castle imported to this country stone by stone. Got a pretty good hunch who I'll find inside. Better make sure my web fluid capsules are all filled. I hope I won't be considered impolite if I don't knock on the front door, but I hate to disturb people with sudden visits. If I pass Aunt May or Betty, my spider sense will warn me, but I haven't passed them yet. I'll have to keep going.
Finally,
Down below, it's Dr. Octopus. Without his mechanical arms, I'll never have a better chance at him than now. Hi, Doc. Thought those were connected to you. Long time no see. Spider-Man! I feel like I've been talking to you for hours. I've been expecting you. Sure. I'll bet you have. By the way, where are Betty Brand and Mrs. Parker? I've got to keep them occupied till I can spring my trap. What would make you think I've seen them? Who is Mrs. Parker, anyway? Other than a lovely old woman that I'm now thinking about. She's the aunt of a teenager who knows Betty. She's got nothing to do with you. Why did you bring her here? And don't pull that innocent routine on me. I wouldn't dream of it. My spider sense is warning me. Danger! Behind me! Oh, too late! Sore throat! Ha! You didn't suspect that I could control my arms mentally, did you? Now I've got you, you meddlesome juvenile. You were a fool to think you had a chance against the power of Dr. Octopus. Tell me something, Ock. Are you trying to defeat me by talking me to death? Yes. Ah, that's more like it. I've had a hunch that your arms would relinquish their grip once I stunned you, if they were under your mental control. Uh-oh. It doesn't take Ock long to recover himself, does it? Well, I'll just have to stay out of his way, out of his reach a while. He's recalled his arms. They're going back to him. Now what's he up to? Oh well, I'll worry about that later. I've still got to find Betty and Aunt May right now.
while in a nearby chamber, the awesome Dr. Octopus attaches his incredible artificial appendages, and then...
Why should I knock myself out when I can trace his movements this way and wait until he's in the most vulnerable position? This place has more twists and turns than a corkscrew. My spider sense is tingling, but I don't see anything wrong yet.
But suddenly, a trap door opens beneath Spider-Man's feet, and a powerful blast of air from the ceiling forces him down before he can leap to safety.
Uh-oh, look out below. Boy, what a movie serial this would make. A new cliffhanger every minute. And now for a nice swim, you insufferable nuisance. I'm going to defeat you in the manner most befitting my name. I shall join you in that giant fish bowl and attack you just as a real octopus would. If you've any last words to utter, Spider-Man, say them now. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you cannot hear me through my air mask. What a pity. I neglected to furnish one for you. I've been in tight spots before, but something tells me they're going to seem like picnics compared to the jam I'm in now. But I mustn't panic. Can't afford to lose. It's not just my life. I have Betty and Aunt May to think of. I've got to avoid those arms of his. Can't stay submerged as long as he can. Have to come up for air every so often. And he knows it. Just what I feared. He grabbed my foot when I went to the surface, and he's starting to pull me down now. I can't hold my breath for any longer. than any other normal human being. Wait, I can hold my breath longer than any other normal human being. But not forever. Only one last chance. I'll release all my webbing at once. It's working. The thin, strong strands of web are entangling his arms like seaweed. He's having trouble controlling them. My leg is free. I'll keep myself close to the edge of the bowl and avoid the webbing this way. The more he struggles, the more he's tangling himself up.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
Thanks for the break. Stop struggling, you nincompoop. I'll untangle you enough so the police will recognize you when they get here. You and your little sparring partners ought to be real proud of yourselves. You practically handed me my victories on a silver platter. If you each hadn't been so anxious to get the credit for beating me alone and teamed up against me, you might have had a chance. And now, sooner or later, my spider sense will lead me to Betty and Aunt May. Oh, I feel a tingling already.
Gross.
I found you. Are you okay?
Spider-Man. Oh, thank heavens. That horrible Dr. Octopus kept saying you didn't have a chance. So that's Spider-Man. What a perfectly ghastly outfit. He's so villainous looking. Not at all as pleasant as that well-mannered Dr. Octopus. I'm sure Dr. Octopus would never have entered that way without knocking.
Jeez. Quiet! Stop your thoughts. No more Doc Ock. Well, I'll be leaving now. I sent a message to the police before I arrived here.
That's an old thought.
Yeah.
They should be here any minute.
Just think, Mrs. Parker, we're safe. I'm afraid I don't understand any of this, you old bat. Do you think it's proper to leave without saying goodbye to our host? I wonder where he went. I'd love to know who Spider-Man really is, but beneath that disguise, he could be anybody, and his mask muffles his voice so that it's almost unrecognizable.
I've got to reach home before Aunt May and meet her at the door so she never suspects anything.
And a short time later, as a police car drives up to the door,
Aunt May, I was so worried about you.
She's all right, Peter. Everything is fine. Of course I'm all right, dear. I had a very nice visit with the most interesting man.
Jeez.
Sure, I'm guessing you won't need us anymore, ladies.
You mean you're not all shook up or anything?
Heavens, no. And I've asked you not to use that awful slang, haven't I, Peter? Your aunt is a very unusual woman, Peter. She's a ditz. I will admit I was a bit worried about you, Peter. I know how nervous you get being all alone in the house.
Gosh, Aunt May, I keep telling you. That was when I was 5 years old.
Well, I guess I better be going now. Mr. Jameson is probably wondering about me. Nonsense, dear. I'll get some cookies and milk and we'll all sit down for a few minutes and... Oh heavens!
This is what I was afraid of. A delayed shock reaction. She's just realizing what she went through now.
And I said that out loud, even though no one knows I was there.
Do you realize we missed the Beverly Hillbillies? Oh, I forgot all about them, and I've been waiting all week. This is before cable, of course. You mean that's what's upset you?
You know something, Aunt May? Case I forgot to tell you. You're the ever-loving greatest.
Greatest ditz. Peter Parker, what am I going to do with you? There you go, using that awful slang again.
Sorry, Aunt May. I'll try to be more careful.
Bitch.
I wonder I wonder how many other guys with superpowers get scolded by their aunts if they don't toe the mark.
But don't worry, 30 more years you can watch it on DVD or VHS.
Yes. But I shouldn't pick on you, dear. I'm so glad to see you looking cheerful again. The reason I went to see Miss Brandt was to find out why you were so unhappy before.
So that's it. Boy, I'd better remember to always look chipper from now on.
Like you are right now.
Well, we're all together now, and everything's okay. So let's have those cookies, Aunt May. And I'll take Betty back to her office.
Did anyone ever tell you how your nose wrinkles up when you smile, Peter? My, have you noticed that too? I thought I was the only one. But before we draw the final curtain on our sparkling little saga, let's take one last look at J. Jonah Jameson, who has known happier days.
Heard from Spider-Man, Mr. Jameson? I want to congratulate him for beating the Sinister Six.
Get out of here! You costume freaks should be outlawed! Ever since Spider-Man entered my life, even my ulcers have ulcers.
And if all JJJ wants to find some people who will agree with him, he need look no further than the city jail where he'd find.
Next time we tackle Spider-Man, we'll do it this way.
Ah, shut up. We're through taking orders from you.
I still don't know how it happened. I thought he was beaten until... Talk! The least they could do is give us each a private cell.
With a toilet. With a toilet. And that's that. Just between us, we're glad we have a full year to our next Spidey Annual. It'll take us that long to rest up from doing this one. The end.
It'll take us a while to rest up, too.
It'll take Sandman 5 seconds to get out of prison.
And now, yeah, that's fair.
Mysterio still has his gloves on, which he can just create illusions and leave.
Graphic man, that was great. Now read it all over again. That's right, we'll switch up roles.
Yeah. This time, for the end, I get to read 40 minutes of dialogue by myself.
Well, I did not intend on that.
Neither did I. We can only blame the other human who didn't show up.
That's right. We are missing our main man, Spider-Man. We miss him dearly. Hopefully he'll be here for the next Spider-Man reading.
How dare he choose to have a life instead of coming on here?
I know. Who needs friends when you have us?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. That was a really great read.
That was fun.
47 pages in under an hour. I mean, over an hour.
It was 41 pages in over an hour. Yes.
And at least 6 were splash pages.
It felt like I was listening to General Mortis. And somebody please get that kind old vulture man some comfortable to sell and stuff. He sounds like he's going to hospice soon. He just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank, you. I didn't know we were live.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Just going to take a moment to thank Graphic Man, Graphic Man for his delightful comments, Nerdy Texan Accountant, MK, and everybody who showed up, including Ed Brewer.
Can I ask them one question?
Sure.
Why?
Why what?
That's enough. Why?
That's fair. I don't have an answer, but hopefully we'll get one for you soon.
Yeah, the only cameo they did not have was the Hulk, but I think his book was canceled around this time.
And there was no Hawkeye.
Well, he was. Yeah, they didn't.
Hawkeye hadn't been created yet.
Exactly.
I don't know. I heard a Russian say "bro" a few times. That was
there was some bro.
There was some bro.
Draven is part of the tracksuit mafia. No?
Yeah.
Don't you know, bro?
Yeah.
He upgraded from that funny suit to a tracksuit.
Now, everyone, we're going to say thank you one last time. Make sure to like, comment if you're seeing this afterwards. And if you are seeing this afterwards and you made it to this point, I don't know why. Why? That's right, as the vulture would ask.
You should have been eating at Joe's.
You should have been eating at Joe's. And
I come there twice a week.
He gets a blue plate special.
Grandpa hasn't left yet.
make sure to check out Englentine Loves Comics. I hear he's doing a Jeopardy tonight, so make sure to check that out. Also, lastly, please remember that you get a big delight out of every bite of Hostess Twinkies. And good night. Bye!
Especially the ones advertised in this episode. 60